Hey, good afternoon. This is Jason Kimmel with PropertySync. Quick little video here. Something sort of minor, but needs a little bit of clarification so that everybody understands exactly what's going on when you decide to search with a middle initial, a middle name, or even using a wildcard. So I'm going to run a search here real quick for Susan Adams. Okay. No middle initial, no middle name. I'll just go ahead and run that search, show you what kind of results we get. So the searching algorithm in PropertySync always includes a middle name or a middle initial if you search without one. So if you run a search for Susan Adams, we assume that you also want to find Susan Adams with a middle initial or a middle name. Okay, so you can see here a wide variety of Susan Adams. We ran a grantor search, so Susan's always going to appear in the grantor column. So we've got Susan without a middle initial here. We have multiple names here with a middle initial E. We have a Susan Colleen Adams, a Susan M. Adams, J, C, etc. Okay, so you're never prevented from running a search with a middle initial. We typically don't encourage you to begin your search using a middle initial. We like you to start with a more broad search and then narrow it down. So let's say, for example, we know now that we want to search for Susan M. Adams. Okay, I'm going to just come back to the search screen, put that information in and run that search. And you can see now, obviously, we have a lot fewer results. Okay, so now the system is going to look for a middle initial of M and return only the Susan M. Adams entries back to you. One other important note here is that you can also use wildcards in combination with any of these searches. So for example, I saw a Susan Colleen Adams, okay, and I also saw some Susan C. Adams on our first chain. So I'm going to run a search for Susan C. Adams, okay, and as you might guess or expect, that is going to bring us back Susan Colleen and Susan C. Adams, but you can see it rules out everything else. So again, as an examiner, obviously you make the decision of how to best search, but generally, if it's me, I'm going to start with a broad search of Susan Adams, and then if I want to narrow down the search even further using a middle initial, or I would recommend a middle initial with a wildcard because it will pick up the middle name if the data is keyed that way. That works really well as well.